Want to 10x your growth? Discover how only 3 growth hacks in 10 days can change everything. Welcome to the 10-Day Growth Hacking Challenge with your host, Nader Sabri. I am a bit invisible today because a camera has just gone out. So we will be going solo. You'll be hearing me, but seeing Nesma at the same time. A unique way of recording this, but we're all good. These things happen, and as they happen, we move along with them and let things flow. We've reached the end of the 10-Day Growth Hacking Challenge with GroCart. To learn more about them, you can click below, and to know more about their story, you can go to the kickoff video where you can get to know more about the story of GroCart, what it's about, how it works, and some of the things that they're having challenges with if you'd like to get to know more about them. So first and foremost, I'd like to congratulate you for finishing the 10 days. How does it feel?
Yeah, we are so happy that we finished the 10 days challenges, especially with the good signals from it. However, we need more time to implement these hacks in a better way, and also to take our time to see more signals and more impact from these hacks.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get kick-started here. I mean, ultimately, as we finalize, we always like to kind of step back and understand some of the things that have happened for you in the last 10 days and reflect on some of the transformations you've had, maybe change in thought, change in action, things that have transformed you in the last 10 days that have changed the way that you look at growth and the way you look at your business when it comes to growth.
Yes, exactly. Actually, we started to implement some sales techniques, we can say, through the hacks, using different hacks, focusing on specific signals from the customers, changing their behavior in purchasing from us. So I guess now we need to implement a kind of, we can say, process, or journey that takes the customer from one side to another side through different steps. So I guess it's a next step that we need to implement so we can have a more impact.
Yeah. So you have a roadmap, is what you're saying. You have a roadmap to work with, which has been effective in transforming your growth, but need to continue building on it, correct?
Yes, we need to continue with that, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Everybody's scenario is obviously different in the challenge. And as you know, from the very beginning, because you're in an industry, as we've already pointed out many times in the last videos, you're in an industry that's really old, and they've been doing things in the old way. And so your biggest problem isn't really you, actually. It's the behaviors you need to be able to change. And you can't just change them overnight because that's not realistic. It will not happen. So all the hacks that we've done have been around behavioral changes. Have you made any game-changing observations that have changed the way that you see and operate because of some of the things that we've observed when it came to the behaviors and changing behaviors in your industry?
Yeah, sure. Now our customers are using our website. They have never used a website to place such orders, so now they are using our website and come frequently to place orders more and more again, more frequency. I mean, through our website, also increasing their basket size. So there are many things that we changed already in their behavior, but also it takes time to continue the whole process and to we can say to acquire more customers. And to increase also the basket size.
Yeah, perfect. No, I mean, I've seen it as well. Like there has been significant, I think, changes in behavior. I think the biggest problem has been, I think some of the signals, you guys haven't seen them or unable to interpret how they may scale. I think it's probably a fair comment from some of the things that we were discussing. I urge anybody in that scenario to step back and reflect, purely because sometimes some things are not visible right away, and it just takes a little bit of time for it to resonate. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I always encourage both contenders and my clients, when they don't see it, to step back and just let it absorb. Because if it doesn't absorb, what happens is that you consistently will be looking for something else. And what happens is that you lack consistency, and lack of consistency can be a real problem because ultimately to create a compounding effect, which is what we're looking to do, to create what we call this rising horizon versus the spike, right? I don't know if we've talked about that before, but we usually touch on it in the challenge because it's one of the growth principles. Ultimately, it's really, really important to make whatever it is that you do consistent, as long as we have a positive signal. And from what I've seen is that every single one of the hacks has a positive signal, actually, but they're small, which is normal because in 10 days, there's only so much we can do. And you're in an older industry where you're changing some very old behaviors. So that's just normal. It's expected. But yeah, awesome. So for those who are tuning in, I mean, what would be some of the learnings that you've made that you would like to pass on to people who are watching this challenge? What would you like to tell them that you've learned that you can teach them as a piece of advice or something for them to think about?
I guess the advice here that growth, there is a science behind it. So we need to learn many things first. To also test the market very well, so we can say to get a kind of process or roadmap. So we step by step we can get the results after that. So we need at first to know the science behind it.
Great. And okay, great. And so you've learned, I mean, I've seen you've obviously picked up on some of the key principles like signals and some other things in there as well. You shared obviously some of the data with me, and there was some patterns there that we identified. And so segmentation was another thing, because I noticed that in the beginning you mentioned things about clustering some of your activities based on logistics. And I said, perfect, that's exactly the way you should be thinking, but we need to align your data with that, because you'll be just shooting in the dark at the moment. And so we want to cluster by behaviors, right? So I think you're on track. Yeah. And once you figure that out, so in all fairness, I know it's not clear to you now because you just don't you need more time and you need more data. But once you hit it, you'll remember. Be like, okay, now the light bulb has gone off and I can see the behaviors one by one, of course, in all four ways. Okay, awesome. Anything else you want to share that can benefit anybody who's watching this before we move on?
Thank you, Nader, so much. And we are looking forward to have also good, continue the relationship with you and implement more and more hacks in our business. So let's keep in touch.
Fantastic. So as we come to the end, you know that the book has 20 growth hacks. This is like, the surprises that you're a little bit worried about, but not a big deal. Every contender gets, we always tell them we have a nice surprise for you at the end. As you know, in the 10 days, we do 3 of the 20 hacks in the book. And so you have 17 remaining. So at the end of the challenge, I always challenge the challengers to finish the remaining 17 of the hacks in the book. And if they finish it in 60 days, we will put them into an all-star program, which we're building to help super accelerate the best of the best who enter our program. We consistently work on finding new ways to create more resources to continuously support people who are in our system for growth, because growth, as you pointed out, is a science, and it's not a science that is unfortunately very well understood out there. It's something that's just assumed that if you have the basic building blocks, you should grow. But unfortunately, it's not like that. There's a science behind it, needs to be used. So I challenge you to finish the remaining 17. If in 60 days, we'll look forward to seeing you in our all-star program. As you know as well, one of the key principles behind our challenge is the pay it forward system. Whenever we have someone in our system, we want to pay it forward to somebody who obviously qualifies, but also can benefit from this program. So who are the 3 people that you guys want to nominate? And if you want to share why, it's up to you. We get some really inspirational nominations, of course. Yeah. Yes.
Actually, we have a couple of friends. However, we didn't shortlist them to lead them. So shortly, I will let you know about those guys. So you can extend your, extend your support to them also, and helping them grow their business.
Fantastic, great. Well, as you know, I mean, you've been nominated in the system, and someone has paid it forward to you. So always keep paying it forward, because that's how our system works. So I'll wait to hear from you on your nominations. As we come to the end of the challenge, one last time, congratulate you guys for finishing this off. I think you guys will do well if you continue on those 3 foundational hacks and continuously to build on them. You'll have so many things that will come out of them. At some point, you probably won't be able to keep up with them. You'll need to get more resources to continue the growth with those hacks. So good luck. And I hope to hear more of your growth success really soon.
Yeah, thank you, Nader.
Okay, guys, best of luck.